بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وهو خير ناصر معين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعليه الطاهرين. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspectives, a weekly program on every Wednesday night, 10 to 11, and it's an English program, and also we have another program on Saturdays which is question time 6 to 7. You can follow us on hidayat.com, follow the previous program as well. If you may recall, last week we looked at the event of Ghadir and we tried to analyze the Ghadir. As still we are in the, the fragrance of Ghadir is still there, and a lot of important events took place during the last year of the Prophet. For example, you have the event of Mubahila which just went by. We're going to look at Mubahila now, and also we want to highlight or continue from our last week discussion, which was in regards to Ghadir, because there were a few points that we missed out, which we wanted to mention last week in regards to Ghadir, that how Ghadir is is the continuation of Risalat, and the point of diversion or the point of departure for these two school of thoughts is really Ghadir, is really that leadership and imamat, and why it happened, and the consequences of this point of departure is purely based upon the understanding of Khilafat and Imamat. How do our Sunni brothers understand Khilafat and Imamat or leadership as, and how do the Shias they view Khilafat and Imamat? See, there's a major difference, and that is where for the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the Khalifa or the leader could be elected by the people, and the leader could be nominated by the previous leader. But that's not the case for the Shias. Shias, say that the Imam or the Khalifa or the leader is someone that is appointed by God. He's divinely appointed. So that makes it a major difference. For example, where the verse says that Atiullah wa Atiur Rasul wa ulil amr minkum, obey God and obey Rasul, the Prophet, the messenger, and obey the people who are in charge, people who are in command, ulil amr, amongst you. Now these ulil amr, those who are in charge, those who have that sort of leadership role, who is that? Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari asked the Prophet, and there's a very famous hadith. Here Prophet explains, according to the Shias, the Ulil Amr are Ali ibn Abi Talib, then Hassan ibn Ali, then Hussein ibn Ali, then Ali ibn al-Hussein, then Muhammad ibn Ali. And here Prophet paused and he says, "O Jabir, you will meet him. You will meet Muhammad ibn Ali and give my salams to him." And after that he said that is the sixth Imam, and then Musa ibn Ja'far, then Ali ibn Musa, wa Muhammad ibn Ali, wa Ali ibn Muhammad, wal Hassan ibn Ali, and finally he says that wal Hujjah, the one who is Qaim, the one who is the 12th Imam. So he has taken the names of each and every Imam according to this hadith of Jabir while explaining the Ulil Amr. So for the Shias, the Ulil Amr; for the Shias, the Khalifa; for the Shia, the Imam is divinely appointed by God. But for the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they say that Imam could be elected by the people, and it is possible that the Imam which is elected or selected by the people is liable of errors, is liable of having less knowledge compared to others, but still he is Khalifa. That's why we tend to see that during the reign of the Khilafat of the Umayyads or during the reign of the Khilafat of the Abbasides, you would find that Abbasi Khalifa will be holding the throne or the chair, and he would invite scholars that will educate, that will debate. Well, he himself doesn't have that capacity or knowledge to really engage or answer or attend to the need of the people. But for the Shias, they say that how can that be possible? The Imam or the leader who is divinely appointed must have that knowledge, that divine knowledge that comes from God to him directly, without any sort of limitation as such. And that is why Imams, they tend to have the knowledge of the ghaib. And see, knowledge of the ghaib is not knowledge of the ghaib, knowledge of the unseen. It is not that no one knows about it, but God, yes, you're right. God clearly says that, Allah in Surah Jinn, Allah doesn't let the ghaib known to anyone, illa, except, here God says, those whom with God is pleased with, and Rasul. So those whom God is pleased with will know the ghaib, will inform them of the ghaib, and Rasul as well will have the knowledge of the ghaib. Now, Allama Tabatabai, when he looks at tafsir of Quran, he does tafsir of Quran from one verse to the other. In Surah, in one of the end chapters, in one of the chapters it says that radiyallahu anhum wa radwan, Surah Ghashiyah I think it is, in which it says that radiyallahu anhum wa radwan, God is pleased with them and they are pleased with God. Now so that means God is Radi, is pleased with. Now here in this verse in Surah Jinn, it says that those whom with God is pleased with. Now when they ask who are radiyallahu anhum wa radwan, there is consensus by the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah and also by Shias as well, that this radiyallahu anhum wa radwan, Surah Ma'un is it. So the radiyallahu anhum wa radwan is pointing out to the Amirul Mu'mineen. So here, when we interpret the Quran, with Quran, we try to understand Quran with Quran, it clearly points out in the direction of Amirul Mu'mineen. So what I'm trying to say here is that, going back onto the point of departure of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah and all of the Shias, is that the understanding of the leadership, who is liable, who is capable of leading the Ummah, is someone who have the knowledge and who is divinely appointed. And finally, which is very important, and that is the one who is infallible, who is masoom, who doesn't commit any sin, because imamat is a position, is a station for the one who is masoom and who have not done any zulm. Inni ja'iluka fin nasi imama, Surah Baqarah 123, verse number 123, where God says, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبِّي, after taking all of the test from Hazrat Ibrahim, the Lord says, I am making you as an imam. Then Hazrat Ibrahim says that, وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي, wow, I want this great, unique, amazing, station of imamat in my children. I want that for them. Here God says that La yanalu ahda dhalimin, it is not for those who commit zulm. So those who will do zulm, they will not be given the maqam of imamat. So imamat is a maqam of someone who is masoom, infallible, who have never committed a sin. So it is divinely appointed, is inni ja'iluka fin nasi imama. I am making you an imam. So 3 points. The imam, number 1, is divinely appointed. That is why Rasul is appointing here. Ya ayyuhar Rasul balligh ma unzila ilayk. Clearly in Surah Ma'idah, God is clearly, mentioning to Rasul that, O Rasul, go ahead and fulfill your command, your duty, your responsibility, of declaring, in brackets, Amirul Mu'mineen here. Because if you do not do so, it is as if you have not fulfilled your responsibility towards your divine message. It is Ya ayyuhar Rasul balligh ma unzila ilayk min rabbik wa in lam taf'al fama ballaghta risalatahu wallahu ya'simuka minan nas inna allaha la yahdi al-qawma kafirin. So it is a clear message to the Rasul that, O Rasul, O Messenger, announce that which has been revealed to you. So Prophet is being asked, announce what has been revealed. Now, and if you do not do, then you have not conveyed his message. You haven't conveyed his message. Not just the message, but saying, Fama ballaghta risalatahu. That phenomena of messengership. You haven't done that. And then it says, Allah will protect you from the people. So there is this question of being protected from the people, right? So let me tell you this here. So Allah is asking Rasul to announce the imamat of Amirul Mu'mineen according to the Shia school of thought. And as imamat is a divine thing, is a divine affair, it is God who appoints it. And Rasul is appointing Amirul Mu'mineen as the imam. When the Rasul is, when the first Khalifa or the second Khalifa is appointing the Khalifa that is coming afterwards. Now Rasul is doing that here, right? Anyway, as we have discussed Ghadir last week, we want to come to an understanding of a great event, which is very unfortunate that because this event is celebrated by the Shia school of thought, it hasn't been highlighted amongst the Muslim Ummah. But it is an amazing event that became victorious without dropping of a blood on earth. The victory of Islam in battles come about or came because of loss of many sacrifices. Many blood was given, and finally Islam became victorious against the perpetrators, against those who planned, against those who attacked, those who forced Muslims to fight. Islam or Muslims never initiated a battle as such. They never did that. It was all, they were imposed and they responded, they defended during the lifetime of the Prophet. And this victory happens without any bloodshed. This victory happens without a drop of blood. And that victory is the victory, is the victory of Mubahila, the event of Mubahila. Who are the soldiers? Hasnain, 5-year-old, 6-year-old children are the soldiers. Siddiqa Kubra, she is the soldier. Amirul Mu'mineen, these Khamsa, these 5 people, Al Kisa, Al Abad, these are the, who came into battlefield. Now, I'll give you a historical account of this event. It is very unfortunate today in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we find that these special makanat, these special places, are dismantled and destroyed for the extension of road, for the construction of 7-star, 5-star hotels. They are just uprooting the history of Islam rather than preserving it. And we see in the West that how they tend to preserve the culture and the value and the history. But when it comes to Islam, everything has been, uprooted. Nobody knows where was the house of the Prophet, where was the house of Hazrat Khadijatul Kubra, Salamullah alayha, how was the Masjidun Nabawi, what doors they used to open in the masjid. Anyway, so that's what we are seeing. There seems to be some sort of, agenda, or if you don't want to say agenda, it just points out to the ill, understanding and limitation of understanding that they have when you are sending students from the kingdom of Saudi Arabia to, for example, study here for their PhDs, for masters in different fields. Why don't you learn from the West how to preserve culture, how to preserve history? It is something to be learned here in London, here from England, So anyway, now going back onto the point of Mubahala, there was Masjid Mubahala in Medina. The event of Mubahala, there were certain Christians who were not fulfilling their duties towards the Islamic government over there, and they came from Yemen in order to basically debate with the Prophet. Now when they came to the Prophet in order to really discuss the issue in regards to the divinity of Christ, they were known as the Christians of Najran. They were known as the Christians of Najran. And when they came to the Prophet, they were all pretty dressed up. They were all sort of like in their, rich sort of ornaments and, in their kind of like clothing and everything. And Prophet did not really engage or entertain them or wanted to meet with them. Now they came to Medina claiming the divinity of Christ, that Christ is the Son of God, and they wanted to discuss that with the Prophet. Now in this event, what happens is that they were not given the respite, so they said, what are we going to do now? So they went to Amirul Mu'mineen. This was always the case, that if the Prophet did not respond, or if they cannot reach the Prophet, or if they want some sort of favor or reach to the Prophet, they will go to Amirul Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. They will go to Amirul Mu'mineen and try to use Hazrat Amir as means of intercession, as means of reaching the Prophet. Now here, when they come to Amirul Mu'mineen, he advised that why don't you take these clothes off, come in a simple garment, and then Prophet will attend to you. Then Prophet will kind of reply or would like to discuss whatever you want to discuss. So here, the advice was taken. They changed their clothes, and then they finally approached the Prophet, and then the Prophet accepted them to come, and the discussions started. As the discussion started, amongst them, now here is the Prophet, which says that, okay, if you say Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is the son of God, then Hazrat Adam, who have been created without father and mother, how can Hazrat Isa be son of God, for example? There are different arguments that the Quran in Surah Nisa clearly discusses this, the issue or the event of Ghadir, to the extent that finally what happens is that they were not listening, they were not paying any heed, and then Prophet said that, okay, tomorrow, at a such and such place, I will bring my men, you bring yours, I will bring my children, you will bring yours, and I will bring my women, you bring yours, and then what we're going to do is that we're going to call the curse of God upon the liars. So they said, okay, fine, we agree, let's do that. This was one of the ways of debating. This was one of the ways where if someone is not listening to the argument, finally they will say that, okay, let's do that. Let's call the curse of God on each hour, whoever is arguing. It says that the event of Mubala, then whoever argues with you about it after this knowledge has come to you, say, come, let us call our sons and your sons, our women and your women, ourselves and yourselves, then supplicate earnestly together and invoke the curse of God. Basically, invoke the curse of God. And faman, as the verse goes, that faman hajjaka fihi min ba'di ma ja'aka min al-ilm faqul ta'alu nad'u abna'ana wa abna'akum wa nisa'ana wa nisa'akum wa anfusana wa anfusakum thumma nabtahil فَنَجْعَلْ لَعْنَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَاذِبِينَ. Let there be the curse upon those who are the liars. Now, they say, fine, let's do that. So next day, Fakhr Razi mentions this, that the Prophet came out. I think we'll take a break right here and then we'll continue with this hadith, a very important hadith from Fakhr Razi, Tafsir Kabir, and he's a Sunni scholar, and he also talks about the verse number 33 of Surah Ahzab, chapter number 33, which is إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ, the ayat here as well. Inshallah, we'll be right back after this short break.